I've got a great guest that I'm excited to get on today called Chris Cabrera, and he's the CEO of Exactly and also the author of Game the Plan. And Exactly makes sales performance management software and are used by some of the biggest brands in the world, such as Salesforce, Hyatt Hotels, and Louis Vuitton. And that's just a couple off the top of my head. But he and the company have a vision to help companies unleash human potential so they can maximize company performance with a hint of tech maybe as well. So buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to California so we can speak with Chris Cabrera, the CEO of Exactly, who's going to tell us all about that vision and how they're using technology. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so happy to be here. My name is Chris Cabrera, and I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Exactly Corporation. And Exactly is in the sales performance management space, and our roots really came from the compensation management, paying salespeople their commissions.
Now, Exactly is famous for making sales performance management, SPM, to people out there, and it's used by some massive brands such as Salesforce, Hyatt Hotels, and Louis Vuitton, just to name but a few. But can you just help everyone listening get on that same page and tell them a little bit more about exactly what Exactly is and also what makes you guys unique?
Yeah, the nice thing about Exactly is there's probably not a company in the world or on the planet that doesn't need our stuff because every company sells something. It could be a service, could be a widget. Somewhere in the organization are people who are motivated to do things, and those things could be make more phone calls, sell more things, provide better services, show up to work on time, and all those motivational things. Companies are finding that the human nature is if you dangle a carrot and give some incentives to do those things, you can drive better performance from your employee base. And so what we do is we just go into every type of company across, you mentioned some of them, but we've got companies that are in just about every vertical in the world, and we help them identify people in their organization that they want to incentivize to do things better or differently or quicker, or there's a plethora of ways that people want to incent people, and our software allows for that to happen. And so our customers drive higher productivity out of their sales teams. We've got numbers that show 40% more productive than people that don't use these types of systems, higher profit margins, things like that.
Now, organizations have traditionally used variable compensation and incentives to help drive growth across their sales teams, but there are a new wave of businesses that are recognizing the value of rolling out incentive compensation beyond sales, and in turn, they're seeing a powerful role that incentive compensation can play to actually increase productivity, revenue, and also the culture of engagement. But can you share your unique point of view and where the industry is heading, in your opinion, and how you genuinely believe that there's been this huge missed opportunity for incentives, not only the value that they provide to employees, but also how they can be applied to shape behaviors and motivations, and how that can actually impact a company's bottom line?
Yeah, I think that everyone knows the classic, pay commissions to salespeople, and they're coin operated, and so you find almost every company is paying 30% of the population, roughly, there's the people that are on quotas and sell stuff, and they're paying them some type of compensation. But I think more and more, as you said, as companies are realizing how competitive the market is and how much incentives can help drive better performance across every type of employee, we're seeing companies that are paying, instead of 30% of their population, they're paying 100% of their population. Now, those other 70% might be getting some type of an MBO or a bonus. It's not a straight commission. It's not necessarily you sell this widget and you get 2% or 5%. But the beautiful thing about a software like ours is that you can incentivize any type of behavior. As I said, you could be incentivizing the receptionist at the front desk to show up on time and dress appropriately and smile when they greet the people coming in, and those could be MBOs that at the end of each quarter the manager sits down and says, yeah, we think you did this about 80%, and so you're going to get 80% of this bonus. We see companies like trucking companies that are delivering perishable goods. They're literally incentivizing truck drivers to deliver the load within a certain window. If they arrive too early, that likely means they were speeding and they get tickets and insurance rates go up. If they're too late, well, obviously the perishables perish, and that's a bad thing. We work with governments that are paying, postal service workers that are not even employees of the government. They're just hanging a shingle somewhere, in remote locations and saying, we accept, we sell stamps and we accept mail. Well, to the government, that looks like a salesperson, right? But it's not at all what you'd typically think of. I think you mentioned, Hyatt earlier. Yeah. Every wedding planner, thousands of wedding planners throughout the world at Hyatt. If you walk into one of them and talk to them about setting up your wedding, every choice that you make, from the wedding cake to the venue to the hors d'oeuvres, those people are being incentivized to provide you the best options and the options that will make sure you have a great event. So you're absolutely right. Compensation is changing dramatically in the world today, and companies that are figuring it out are embracing it beyond just salespeople. So they're automating salespeople, and then they're spreading it throughout the rest of their company. And what we see is that companies that do that perform at much higher rates and have higher profitability than companies who don't.